I have a special story for the children today. It's called Never Too Little. I'm going to read this to you now if you'd like to sit and listen. Adults, you might want to have a listen too. It's a true story from the Bible. Everybody wanted to see Jesus so he could help them and pray for them. Some boys and girls just like you came to see Jesus. But Jesus' friend said, "You're too little. Jesus can't talk to you." And someone said, "Jesus is too busy." And someone else said, "Jesus is too important." And someone else said, "Stop! Wait a minute. Hang on. Let those little ones come here. Stop getting in their way." Who was it? It was Jesus. Jesus said, "You don't have to be a great big, super good, important person to be God's friend. No, no, no. God is friends with you. If you know you are just little and need his help, God is friends with you." Isn't it amazing how this great, amazing, awesome God that we've been thinking about this morning cares for those things that other people dismiss as being unimportant? I love that picture of Jesus scolding his disciples and saying, "No, these children matter to me." And that's why I think that this story and the reading we had earlier go together so well. This idea that God cares about the small things, the detail. He didn't just create a world that consists of green fields and blue sky. He took care to fill those green fields with a myriad of beautiful flowers and the blue skies with thousands of different birds. Take a look out of your window just now. How many different colours or shades of colour can you see? If God cares for your garden, your environment in that much detail, why are we so surprised that he would care for us as an individual? I wonder what you make of today's Bible reading. Those words from Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. Don't worry about where your food comes from. Don't worry about the clothes you wear. In fact, don't worry about anything. God will provide. It almost sounds like Jesus is saying we don't need to worry about the essentials of life because life will take care of itself. Yet we know that's not what it means. We know that life is not that simple, and these last few months have proven that. For some people, concern over where their food will come from has been a real part of their daily life. And no matter who we are or how strong our faith in God is, complications are part of life, and we do worry. How can we not worry when life isn't that simple? It's natural that sometimes we doubt and think that we're not important. How could God be interested in little old me? But the message is that God, our great big awesome God, cares for all creation, for all people, for the birds of the air, for the lilies in the field, the detail, for you and for me, and especially for our children. In other words, we're not alone, and no matter how bad things seem, and no matter how good things may seem, we didn't get here on our own, and God is in control. This may sound like a message which is just too simplistic. It may sound like I'm ignoring the fact that there is evidence that God simply doesn't prevent disaster, or the fact that even though we may believe in God, bad things still happen in our lives. We all know that belief in God doesn't make you immune to illness. It doesn't protect you from disaster or make us impervious from the things of the world. Bad stuff happens no matter who we are and no matter what we believe. What is different when we believe in God is the way we deal with those disasters, the way we approach that life and all that it can throw at us, and the way that God calls us to live in the knowledge of a God who loves us, small and insignificant though we might think ourselves to be. Christians sometimes think we have to remain strong just because we have a faith in God. We often put on a brave face when actually we're suffering or deeply hurting. Or we may stay away from our church family because we can't face other people when we're encountering difficulties. But it's not supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to try and cope with things on our own. We're not meant to put on a brave face and suffer in silence. We are people of God's kingdom, a community who model and reflect God's love, a people who share a common bond and understanding of what God's kingdom is all about. We are all one and the same and an essential part of God's kingdom here on earth. Today's reading, taken outside of that understanding, sounds unrealistic to someone who's suffering. Taken outside of the context of the kingdom of God, Jesus' message is no better than that cheesy 80s pop song, "Don't worry, be happy." Yet listening to those words of Jesus with a bigger picture in mind, they make perfect sense. We shouldn't need to worry about the small things because Jesus is reminding us of God's profound love for everything and everyone in creation. God has provided for all our needs, but rather than looking for it in the world, we should focus instead on the bigger picture and the kingdom of God. During these last few months, we've had opportunity to reevaluate and consider what's important to us. We've taken delight in going for walks, finding the beauty in our surroundings. Those of you who haven't been able to go out much probably know your gardens inch by inch now, and you've watched those flowers, perhaps as they've grown from seeds, as they've grown and they've come into bud and then they've opened into flower. Without much of the worldly things in life to distract us, we've had time to notice these things. And in all of this, we come back to the fact that if God cares so much for the birds of the air and the flowers of the field, how much more does he care for you, for me, for each of us individually? We're all known to God, he's in control, and he has a place for each of us. So, as our reading says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. God is already there. As we stop for a moment and just reflect in the knowledge that God knows and cares for us individually, no matter who we are, no matter how old we are or how young we are, we're going to listen to a song, and especially to the chorus, which says, "I'm loved by God. I am his child. I have a place in his heart." Take this thought into this week with you so that whatever worries may come your way, you can say with some assurance that you are God's child, you matter, and he has a place for you in his heart, and he will take care of it all.
Here I am to sing to my God. Here I am to pray. All I am and all I can be, this is me today. Everything I bring, all I know and I now lay before a God I love and trust. I'm loved by God. I am his child. I have a place in his heart. And as I grow, as life unfolds, I'll find out more about his love. every hope and day, safely placed into his loving hands, he who knows my name, everything held dear, those who care for me, I now lay before a God I love and trust. I'm loved by God, I am his child, I have a place in his heart, and as I grow, as life unfolds, I'll find out more about his love. I'll find out more about his love.